This is an update from News 5.
Good evening, I'm Carole Wilson. In the news tonight, 4 Colerain teenagers should be safe in their homes tonight following a bizarre kidnapping that reportedly ended yesterday in Lake City, Florida. We have the latest in that election in the Philippines and the reaction of a local woman who's just returned from that troubled part of the world. And we'll tell you about the trial in Italy of more than 400 mafia leaders. All the day's news, weather, and sports at 11 on News 5.
This TV5 News Update is brought to you by Thriftway Food and Drugs. Have a Thriftway day.
News 5 with Dave Robinson, Carole Wilson, Steve Horstmeyer's weather. Tom Verrado has sports. Now, Cincinnati's News 5 tonight.
Good evening. They are home safe. All 4 Colerain High School students who say they were kidnapped at knife point Friday night in the high school parking lot arrived tonight from Florida. Parents, brothers, sisters, relatives, and friends had a long, anxious wait at the airport tonight. Their plane was almost an hour late. When it finally arrived, it ended an ordeal that began 50 hours before. The 4, Vicki Renner, Tanya Tyrion, Martin Day, and Tom Nerswick, arrived to a tearful reunion. The obviously shaken teens were quickly hustled away by their parents, who had very little to say to reporters.
Imagine you're glad that your daughter's back now. Extremely happy, to say the least. She really don't want to talk to nobody, though. She's shook up.
The 4 teens were described as friends, none of them dating each other. This afternoon, News 5's John London talked with a parent and authorities about the kidnapping.
The 4 Colerain High School students have told police and parents that they were not harmed. 18-year-old Tom Nerswick, a senior, Tanya Tyrion and Vicki Renner, both 16, and 15-year-old Martin Day, all described to us today as good kids.
It was here in the parking lot of Colerain High School that the 4 students say they were kidnapped at knife point. They were here for a Friday night basketball game. Here's the story they told police. 3 of them were in a car at the time. The 4th, a girl, was outside the car when a man pulled a knife and forced her to get in, and then forced all 4 kids to drive him to Florida.
Chief Deputy Vic Carole says the kids got away at a gas station near Lake City, Florida.
The boy got out to go to the restroom, and the abductor went along with him and told the other 3 remaining in the car that if they took off, he would harm the boy. The boy went into the restroom. The abductor remained on the outside, and when the boy came out of the restroom, the abductor was gone.
The mother of the youngest of the 4, Martin Day, talked with her son on the phone yesterday.
He said, "I'm okay," and I, said, "I just thank God you're alive."
We had a dance at school last night, and people there had heard, and I guess their first comment was, "How are they?" And we said, "Well, the reports we have said they're doing fine, that there was no harm done, no injury." And I think that was the concern that everyone has at this point.
A different concern was voiced by one of the parents today. It deals with how quickly police responded to the report of 4 missing kids.
I feel like the police should have had bulletins out immediately as soon as they were notified. The license number of the car should have been transmitted everywhere, and that car should have been found and picked up.
And many times we will like to wait a short period of time to make sure that the youngsters just aren't staying out an extra hour or so beyond their curfew and time to be expected to be home. So I wouldn't say that in this particular case there was any great abuse of entering it into the computer.
Carole says the case is being